Namaskar children. Till now we have studied about the fundamental unit of life, the cell, your chapter number 5. We have studied about the detailed structure and function of cells and the various types of cells and the various cell organelles. Now today we are going to start a new chapter, the next chapter, chapter number 6 of your NCERT book, the tissues. Now children, the cells, basically they are the fundamental unit of life, and in unicellular organisms there is just one cell that is performing all the function. But think about the multicellular organisms. They have got millions and millions of cells. How do they perform their various functions? Actually children, there is a division of labor in case of multicellular organisms, and there are specific groups of cells which perform specific functions, and they are known as tissues. And in this chapter we are going to study about tissues, various types of tissues, the plant tissues, the animal tissues, and their various functions. So let us just try to understand what a tissue is. When we say the cell is a fundamental unit of life, it has got all the various organelles and it is performing individually, it is able to perform all its function. But what happens in case of multicellular organisms, the group of similar cells, when I say similar cells, that means they are similar in structure, that means all of them are alike, similar, and they are similar in origin, which means they are from the same parents, they are arising from the same cells, and they work together as team of cells. So a group of cells which are similar in structure and origin, which work together to perform a specific function. What do we call it? We call them tissues. So again, let us just frame the definition of tissues. Tissues are the group of similar cells that work together to perform a specific function. And tissue system is a feature of multicellular organisms. Children, I would just like to mention over here, just like the study of cells is known as cytology, we are doing study of tissues, and this is a separate branch of biology which is known as histology. So histology is study of tissues. So in multicellular organisms there is clear division of labor. Why there is division of labor? Because there are complex functions. There is complexity of various functions. So if we see the hierarchy, cell is the basic unit of life. When the cells group together, they form tissues. For example, if I say there are several, so this is a cell, okay, okay, and then they group together and they form a tissue which is basically a muscular tissue. And the muscular tissue is of which type? Suppose cardiac muscles. I'm sure you must have heard about cardiac muscles. And these cardiac muscle, this tissue forms an organ. What is that organ? The heart. Okay. So this group of tissues form this organ heart, and the heart along with the blood vessels, capillaries, the veins, it forms the organ system. And what is that organ system? Circulatory system. And you know children, circulatory system is one of the organ system in our body. There are other organ systems like digestive system, like respiratory system, excretory system, and so on. So several systems grouped together, they form an organism called human being. So this is the basic outline of the tissues. Just like animals, plants also have various tissues, types of tissues, and they also have tissue systems, and which lead to the complex plants. So this comes us to now the next topic, that is the comparison of plants and animal tissues, how they are different. Now we need to tabulate them in these two tables. Now if you see animals are mobile, they can move around and they require more energy. Their systems are more evolved and more complex as compared to plants, because plants are fixed more or less to one place and they do not move around for food. In fact, they prepare their own food using the raw materials from the environment. So their requirements of energy, they are comparatively less. So this comes as, for the first comparison, the animals are mostly mobile, so they require more energy, while the plants are mostly fixed, so the energy requirement is low. Similarly, since the animals move around in search of food and shelter, so the cells of animal tissues, they are mostly living because constantly they need to supply energy. In comparison to plants, if you see, the plants, the tissues are mainly concerned with providing the shape and structural strength to the plant, and therefore the cells are mostly supportive. Now which means that cells are formed and over a period of time they become dead and they keep on supporting the plant. Now let us come to the third difference. If you see, the growth of an animal is uniform from all the directions. Suppose this is the baby that was born, and when he grows to an adult, more or less the shape remains the same, but only the size increases. However, in case of plants, the growth is not uniform. Initially it is uniform, but then after that it is limited to certain regions. For example, initially the plant grows with a quite considerable speed in terms of height, but after that it grows laterally and it becomes broad. So we can say the growth is not uniform in plants. Next, if we see, the animal tissues are not divided, they don't have any subcategories based on their pattern of division. However, in case of plant tissues, they can be meristematic and permanent. We are going to study them just now after this. Meristematic tissues means they keep on dividing and they form permanent tissues. And permanent tissues are the ones, they have acquired their role and they have become permanent in nature. So this type of distribution is there in case of plant tissues, and it is not there in animal tissues. Lastly, we can just sum up by saying the structural organization of animals is more complex. The systems are more complex, while in case of plants, they are less complex. In plant tissues, if we see, when we try to categorize them, we find that they can be categorized into two broad types of tissues: the permanent tissues and the meristematic tissues. Now children, actually permanent tissues, they arise from meristematic tissues. So let us just first try to understand them. Meristematic tissues, these are composed of the cells which keep on dividing throughout their lives. That means right from the beginning of the plant's life, they keep on dividing and dividing. For example, this is a meristematic tissue. I am writing M. it is going to divide and it is going to form two cells. One of them, it will become meristematic again, and the other one will form permanent tissue. That means it will take up a specific permanent structure and a definite function. Now meristematic will again divide and form one cell meristematic and the other one as permanent. Again one meristematic and one permanent. Again it divides and one cell takes the role of meristematic function and the other one becomes permanent. Now if you see the permanent cells which are being formed, they will differentiate. Now what does differentiation means? That means they are going to form a specific, they will take up a specific role and a definite function, and they will keep on supporting the cells, but they will not divide further. They will die sometime, but they will not divide. Let us see. Permanent tissues, they are composed of cells that have lost the power of division, that the power to divide, and they have acquired a definite function and role in plant. Now permanent tissues can be of two types, simple permanent or complex permanent. Simple permanent may be the ones which are formed of only one type of cells, which means all cells are similar. Complex tissues may be the ones, now if you see, I am just trying to, these are different shapes of cells, these are different types of cells. So they will come together, they will work together for one particular function. So when the cells are of only one type, then we say they are simple permanent, and when there are more types of cells which perform the single function, they are complex permanent. Now let us see the characteristics of meristematic tissues. Now characteristics of meristematic tissues. The meristematic tissues are made up of meristematic cells. Now these cells are living, most important, and they are very small and they are cuboidal in shape, and of course they keep on dividing throughout their lives. That is the reason they are meristematic. Next, such cells are tightly packed. They do not have any intercellular spaces. Now you think why they are tightly packed? Because continuously they have to divide and they have to form new cells. Now next, if you see these cells, where are these found? These are found in the growing parts. Now when you will study the types of meristematic tissues, we will see where all they are found. Basically they are found on the growing parts or growing tips, like you can imagine the stem and root tips. Okay, the next thing is the cells have dense cytoplasm. Very important. Why do they have dense cytoplasm? Can you think? The reason is because they have to divide and they have to form new cells. So if the cytoplasm will not be dense, how are the next generation of cells are going to have cytoplasm? They will be very poor in the amount of cell cytoplasm. The nucleus is large and prominent. Of course, when the nucleus is large, only then it can divide and it can form new nuclei. And very important point, they do not have vacuoles, because the vacuoles you have studied in chapter number 5, they provide somewhat turgidity and rigidity to the plant cell, and these can hinder the process of cell division. Okay, so they do not have vacuoles. And the cell wall is very thin and soft. How does it help? It helps the cells for actively dividing. Okay children, now we are going to see the types of meristematic tissue. Now the types of meristematic tissues, the there are three main types of meristematic tissue: the apical meristem, the intercalary meristem, and the lateral meristem. Now they have been classified into three types on the basis of their location in the plants. Now let us see how they are located. Suppose this is a structure of a simple plant. The apical meristem, the name indicates it is present at the apex. And what are the apex? The root, the stem and the root. If you see the stem apex and the root apex. Now, so that means they are present at the growing tips of roots and stems, and even in the tips of the branches. So the location is the growing tips, and of course, since they are present at the tips, their function is to increase the plant lengthwise for the primary growth. Initially, the plant, when it grows taller, that is because of apical meristem, and when the roots go deeper into the soil, so that is because of the apical meristem. The second type is the intercalary meristem. Now the intercalary meristem, as you can see, it is present at the base of the leaves and just at the nodes. So basically they are responsible for the growth of this internodal region. So basically because of their activity also, the length is increasing. But what happens? The space between the two nodes or of the leaves increases, or the branches. I'll show you an example. Suppose this is the plant, a very young plant, suppose. Now what happens? Now ICM means intercalary meristem. Now this is what the role is. This part, the internodal region, increases in length. So this is the intercalary meristem. The last but not the least, the lateral meristem or the cambium. Now it is present on the sides of roots and stems. If you see, they are present over here throughout, in the stem as well as in the root. And what happens? They are responsible for the secondary growth of the plant. Secondary growth means for making the plant broader and thicker. Now suppose this is the thickness of the plant, and once the secondary growth occurs, this is the thickness of the trunk. So now you can see the role of lateral meristem. So the meristematic tissues are of three types: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. Apical meristem present at the tips of root and stem, and they are responsible for increase in length of the plant. Intercalary, base of the leaves, which are responsible for the increase in length and basically internodal regions and the region between the branches. And last we studied lateral meristem, which is present on the sides of stem and roots. So children, in today's module we have studied about tissue, how the tissue participates in the multicellular organisms through division of labor. Then we studied about the comparison between plant and animal tissues. Then we studied about the types of plant tissues, and we studied about meristematic tissues, the characteristics and types. I'll request you to revise the content that is given in NCERT book.